The NFL's Way to Play initiative is back. Every week we honor a high school player for demonstrating exceptional technique on the field. This week's recipient, Jaden Craven from Oak Hill Academy in West Point, Mississippi. Let's take a look at this play, D'Angelo. You got him right here. He's scraping over here. He comes into the hole. And once again, as I always like to do, 57, don't worry. That was me at one point, buddy. Don't worry about it. But you can see Jaden come in here right in the hole, helmet to the side. Drive, take him down, D'Angelo.
Yeah, Jaden, that's great technique, man. You see the way he's running his feet on contact. He's able to get up underneath the ball carrier. That's the way you coach it up right there, man. Great technique by Jaden.
All right, because of his terrific technique, Oak Hill Academy will receive a $1,500 equipment grant. Spend it wisely, guys.
This is an outstanding trade regarding the future of the Cowboys.
Tony Dorsett, look out! Tony Dorsett is in the record books. 99 yards. The Minnesota Vikings are blowing out the Dallas Cowboys. He caught it. Sidney Rice has stolen the show.
Now the Cowboys need a miracle, as we said. Pearson makes the catch at the 5. Touchdown! Would you believe it?
Cunningham fires deep. Got Moss. 10-5 touchdown Vikings.
Vikings and Cowboys, tons of stars through the years, with Dalvin Cook and Zeke Elliott being the latest. Both running backs top 5 in rushing yards, scrimmage yards, and rushing touchdowns. So we got two great backs in one game. Both of these guys could be headed to the postseason. So, Sean, which team is better equipped to make a postseason run, to make a deep postseason run?
Yeah, I've always felt, Colleen, that the two things you need if you want to make a playoff run, you've got to have a good run game, you've got to have a good defense, guys that can get after the quarterback. I think both teams can run the football, but the Cowboys have a great three-headed monster right now. We mentioned Michael Bennett earlier on the show, his addition and what it's done. Look, Robert Quinn has 6.5 sacks. He actually has more sacks than DeMarcus Lawrence, probably because DeMarcus Lawrence is getting all the attention. But when you pair Quinn and Lawrence on the bookends, and now you've got Michael Bennett, who inside can attack the guards and centers, a lot like what we used to do with Justin Tuck back when we had Strahan and Osi. It's a nightmare for offenses to handle. Now all of a sudden guards who are used to blocking big defensive tackles, they've got this jump around guy who's really quick and goes A gap to A gap. It's like he's got Vaseline on his jersey. And if you've seen Michael Bennett, take a look at his jersey. All right, his jersey is all over the place because he's got one of the smallest set of shoulder pads in the NFL right now. So he's a tough little sucker to get your hands on. There it is right there. Look at the shot. So I think this defensive line is one of the reasons why I think they've got a chance to make a big push.
Yeah, they'll be going after Kirk Cousins, too, who it's so hard to trust him in these big games. So if you're talking about them going on a playoff run and winning multiple playoff games, that means you have to rely on Kirk Cousins to come up big in right spots.
Yeah, and it was hard for me to trust the Kirk Cousins I played with in Washington. It's not hard to trust this Kirk Cousins because this is a different guy. This is a Kirk Cousins.
Why didn't you say that back then? It would have made for a great chat.
Well, he's starting to understand this offense. They're running the football. Like I said, I felt like for a lot of Kirk's early career, he wanted to be everyone else.
That was a good throw right there.
Now he's established. He has his money. He has his contract. And so it's about winning football games. And for him, it's not always throwing the football. It's sometimes handing it off. It's sometimes taking the check down. Especially when I look at this matchup. They're going to be without Adam Thielen, one of the best receivers in the NFL. Still, I'm picking Minnesota because I like this Kirk Cousins and this team, and especially Dalvin Cook.
I guess I would piggyback, just, spend some time with the team. Get past the division for a second. And this team, in the schedule ahead, you still have to go on the road. Sunday night at Dallas. You've got to go on the road against Seattle. You have the Chargers, who have dominated the NFC North. But Kirk Cousins, yes, he's 2-9-1, you guys. Colleen, you talk about the records since he became a Viking against teams above 500, and he doesn't have a playoff win. However, D. Hall spoke to it. Kevin Stefanski has this team buying into the zone run scheme. Last year, they were moving back. The offensive line was moving back in the trenches. Sean, you could speak to this. This year, it's north, south, east, and west. And that run game, when it's going deep into the playoffs in cold weather, I think gives them a chance, plus that defense.
I look at these teams. You got the Spider-Man meme where they're pointing back. It's just it's the same thing. You got a downhill runner that's tough to stop. You've got a quarterback that you really want to work off the running game and take the pressure off of him, D'Angelo. Oh, we've heard you say that. Well, you talked about the Cowboys' defensive line. The Vikings got a good defensive line. It's just mirror images. I feel like which teams? Both. I don't know. But I guess I would lean more toward the Vikings. I have images of people trying to tackle Dalvin Cook in January, and I think that is an unbelievable element to have. And I understand Ezekiel Elliott is just as tough as well, but Cook is that hammer that you want to have in the postseason, Sean. I really believe that.
Yeah, both teams.
Way to ride the fence, Mike.
Both teams have a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense. So you're right. They really do mirror each other. And it's like, okay, if you both have really strong running backs, you both have really good defenses, if it's going to come down to the quarterback position, the most important position on the field, then I'm going to go with Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott together, because when they're together, they're really rolling.
Well, and Dak has defeated Kirk Cousins. He's 4-0 against Kirk Cousins. But how important, D-Hall, is this game for Kirk Cousins? I mean, Sunday Night Football, another prime time.
It's extremely important for Kirk to kind of get the monkey off his back, right? Like I've been saying, and Stacey, this is a different Minnesota team, and you can kind of feel that vibe. You talk about, Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys' offensive line probably having the advantage talking from a run game standpoint. But what Dalvin Cook's been able to do this season has been phenomenal. I mean, he looks faster, stronger than everybody else, and he's not an overly big guy to be out there running guys over. He just runs the ball angrily, and you can't account for that.
And the scheme helps.
Right. Stace, what do your dogs think about this? Because I know that they are huge football fans now. I mean, after they were watching the Cowboys on Monday night, I feel like they Cowboys fans?
Finally saw something worth chasing.
I trained them. I trained them to go after black cats, and it just so happens that there was a black cat on Monday Night Football. I mean, my dogs listen to me.
There's over 1 million
They are
views.
vicious. They are vicious. Look at those two. That's Ruby on the left. That's Blue on the right.
They look sweet.
And, my Blue, she's my youngest, and she's scared of her own shadow, you guys. So I don't know what she got into that
Look
day.
at that.
That is fantastic. That's phenomenal. I love that so much.
You should be playing Janet Jackson's Black Cat 9 Lives.
There you see?
Missed opportunity.
Short
Bear
days,
down,
long
everybody.
nights.
It's
I can't
taking
believe
on
they made TV.
Better watch your
whole
step.
new meeting. The big problem in Chicago and how they can fix it. It takes more than turning off their TVs to
What's up, Nick?
And Deshaun Jackson on IR, what it means for the Eagles from a guy who knows this team better than anybody else, Merrill Reese.
Merrill's
Coming
back.
up next.
That's it.
Woo.
Good Morning Football Weekend.